No, I mean, I get frustrated and I want to say stuff, and I don't say stuff just because I tend to be somebody who stays quiet. And we'll see if I actually get around to posting this because I tend to be a quiet person. But I'm mixed feelings as far as whether we should keep fighting them when they put stuff out or if we should just let them scream into the oblivion.
I think everybody's money is going to dictate who wins this.
Yeah, ultimately people are going to buy what they want. And Comicsgate and indie comics itself is doing really well. But I don't know if the arguing back and forth is helping or hindering. I get the people that are trying to explain what Comicsgate really is and what indie comics are compared to mainstream comics.
Me, I'd literally, if they were talking to me, I'd be like, you have Archie versus Predator.
That's what
you have.
That's what a lot of them are doing. I can
what
think
do
of
we
a few
have
right now.
Like, seriously. Like, why would I care about you?
Yeah, no,
I don't care. Like, I looked at your crap. I can't remember half the titles. The only reason why I remembered that one is because it was absurd.
It's because I remembered Archie, and that was the only reason I remembered was it was Archie fighting somebody. And I'm like, did Archie ever fight anybody in the comics? I never read Archie comics, so I don't really know much about it.
But yeah,
he didn't seem like a fighter to me. Not like, Predator or Superman or Batman. Thor, not a fighter like that. He didn't seem like that kind of superhero.
It was just a comic book. It was a family-oriented.
It seemed like a normal, everyday type of lifestyle,
They're probably still on the newspaper, because that's where I remember reading it as a kid. They had it in the newspapers. The little short clips. Archie versus Predator 2, so there's a effing sequel to this? Really?
I did get told by somebody about a comic book. This person who wrote this comic book has me blocked.
Who's
it was
that?
A comic.
This person?
No, it's not that person. But I was told there was a person who wrote a comic book where only the black people had superpowers in the book, and that was it. And I asked how well it did.
God, there's so many jokes.
And I was told not very well. But I have not looked it up, to be quite honest. So
I'll be good.
I'm going on the word of this individual who shared this with me. But of course, it's hard to look up the Twitter profile when you're chain blocked because you are part of indie comics and Comicsgate. It's great. I'm blocked by so many people I've never met. I have people on my friends list that share art, and I'm blocked from seeing it. And I buy a lot of art, and I buy a lot of books, and I spend a lot of money, and you're blocking me. And I don't go by people's politics, and I don't go by whether they're left-wing or right-wing, and I certainly don't go by what color they are, or what they believe in, or who they sleep with. I buy good stuff. Turns out that I will buy stuff even if I don't agree with you on certain things. But if you block me, it makes it very difficult for me to spend my money on you. But I guess I can say thank you because you've saved me money. My husband can say thank you too because I'm not spending his money. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's a lot of drama, and they're all starting up again, and then they've got, I guess, the Whisper Network allegedly has a new victim that they are planning. That's in the part 2 that you haven't read yet. That's
they're planning, is that Archie versus Predator part 3? Are they going to team up and take out someone from CG? Is that what's going to happen?
I guess. Who'd win in that, Archie or Predator? How did they make
I'd
more
like to
than...
think that one's self-explanatory.
How did they even make a 1 page of that comic book? How did you write more than 1 page of that? I'm kind of curious. I almost want to read it. Almost. I will. That's ridiculous.
He's like smiling like he's about to get shot. Like, look at him. That would be somebody in the Whisper Network. See, that's how I like to approach these things. I like to look up what they're doing and then kind of go, yeah, but you wrote that. You drew that. Yeah, it's pretty glorious. Like, if they really want me to go one at a time, and we'll see what these people have done that's just so awesome that they got to knock down everybody else. Like, I don't know any of these people.
You don't recognize any of their names?
Nope.
You recognize some of the names that are in Comicsgate.
I'm looking them up now and going, why are you speaking? What have you done? Why do you care? I know why they're going to tell me that they care.
Why is that?
Because apparently every comic book has to have a Hispanic, black, straight, and gay. Like, I don't know how you can include everybody. There's too many genders. How do you include everybody? You're talking about, like, the super friends, like a huge, like a bunch of people. I mean, they've had the ambiguously gay duo, you know.
Yeah.
And that was hilarious. Was an assistant editor for Marvel. Shocker. She worked on the company's line of Star Wars comic books, so she's a real winner. Consultant for companies like Marvel and Lucasfilm, so she actually was a part of Star Wars. That's Lucasfilm.
Well, now we have our explanation as to why
As
they
well as
did so
independent
well.
creator. Yeah, I know. You didn't edit good enough at all.
That sounds like she edited
You
it
needed
too
to
well.
edit all the characters out and just start from the beginning. But see, we're just looking up what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's essentially what they're doing. But there's nothing there, so they have to make it up. With them, I actually have stuff. You know?
Oh, there's a few lovely little tidbits coming out about how they've been stealing money from people too.
If they're stealing money, then hopefully you can prove that. And
There's proof nothing happened to them. Nothing. Got swept under the rug.
it's bad when you have YouTube videos that say you're failing your way to the top.
Well, they're
That's
blue
funny.
check marks that are coming out and slamming indie comics and Comicsgate, and all they're doing is driving more people to us because we're getting a wider range of views. If they take half the time to come over and look and see what it's actually about, they'll see that we're not what we're being accused of.
This is why. Isn't that funny?
Oh, I need that. Here.
Maybe it's there's so much. Like, for them to poke at Comicsgate, I've only looked for like 10 minutes, and I've found enough to bury all of them.
Bounding into comics.
And I'm not the first one, obviously, to comment on these idiots.
Has an epic
I'm not the first
story with an epic title, which I'll post right now.
Like I said, usually the loud people usually screw up the most.
Senior editor Heather Antos claims America has the worst fans.
Well, then go sell it in China. That's where you guys want to sell this crap anyway. Go for it.
I like when people try to blame their own shortcomings on everybody else.
Make
It's
sure you wear your
great.
mask first, though. You just might die.
Don't get me started on masks.
And goggles.
Oh, don't get
Face
me started
shield.
on the goggles. Full hazmat suit.
Might as well.
They're
What
going to
those
get to that
people
point where they're
believe.
going to be telling us to wear hazmat suits here soon.
If you haven't heard, yes, they're recommending you wear goggles now.
Yeah, that's
Which I find hilarious.
Dr. Fauci's latest is that goggles may be needed. You won't catch me dead wearing goggles.
That's how it always is. The louder you are, usually the dumber.
What does that say about you?
No. I don't claim to be smart. I don't claim to write books or say I know everything.
Or-
That I'm some comic book Jesus. These people are just trying to get a rise out of Comicsgate. Because if they can get a rise out of them, then they can kind of put a chink in the armor. It's hard, because they're going to say a bunch of really dumb stuff.
Well, I'm seeing more people coming into the indie comics and Comicsgate groups just because of their attacks. Now, most of the people that I have like on my friends list that I follow are trying to educate people as to what it's really about. I've written up long diatribes and then never posted them just because I'm like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
In the end, they can do what they want to do.
Well, no, I know.
If
I'm
they
just
want to
curious.
attack them back, feel free.
I'm just
I just
curious
think
if
it's
it's
the
going
wrong
to
move.
be a benefit or if it's going to be a detriment in the long run. Like, I'm not talking about educating people what we really are versus what we're being claimed to be.
If you really wanted to attack them, if you're going to attack them, just do a 15-minute YouTube search of whomever decided to attack you. Because holy cow, there is so much that you can make fun of. It is absurd.
I think with ending this little chat here, Comicsgate and indie comics, those that are not Comicsgate included, I'm not talking about anti-CG. We have a lot of potential. We see mainstream comics failing miserably We see them grasping at straws to try to keep themselves relevant by trying to poke holes in a movement that actually is doing something with themselves, a movement that actually is diverse and creating new characters and cool things and awesome art and things that would blow mainstream comics out of the water in any given day. We have a lot of potential to go up from here. Say, just ignore the haters, invite people in, show them what we really are, tell them it doesn't matter who they are or what they think or how they believe. They want to do comics and they want to write good stories, that ultimately it's going to be decided by the consumers and the customers. So to have at it, because I know I've bought a lot of books.
Yeah, we have, and we're waiting on quite a few books as well.
They're going to go on my wall.
Mm-hmm.
I got some cool stuff coming from some really good people.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff we like. I'm sure that would piss off some people
Yeah,
on
well,
either side. I don't really
doesn't
care.
really matter. Buy what you
Don't
want.
care.
Spend your money where you want. That's where it should end. Is you just gotta buy what you're into and support the independent artists that you like. A lot of you will be going on my wall of awesomeness that has CG and not CG and independent artists from Etsy and some of my own art and independent artists from Twitter that don't do comic books. And so yeah, I mean, I buy a lot of things. So
As I say, it does. We don't care.
yep.
Now I
what I
will
like.
tell Comicsgate they got the best shot right now.
Yeah, they really do.
They have to make the right moves. And I don't even know what to tell them to do. This is nothing I know anything about. I can only tell you how to deal with dumb people. You know, because I do have a job. Have dealt with stupid people. Plenty a day. But as far as how to make an industry move and what to do from there, I'm not even going to pretend that I know what to do.
There's a
What they
lot
need
of
to do,
potential.
I don't know, but they have it.
Alright, guys. Well, thanks for listening to us rant. It was fun. Hopefully, you got something out of it. If you disagree, you can comment below. Don't really care. I mean, I care if you disagree, but I don't really care. Digatron definitely doesn't care. He's like a whole week old on Twitter right now.
Not Rare Logic. Does that mean you rarely use logic?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, thanks for listening to us talk. I hope you had fun. Let us know what you think. And we will see you guys later. Bye.